If you are planning a vaginal birth after caesarean, a VBAC, and you've been told it's risky without being told exactly what that risk is, this video is for you. I am going to give you the evidence, the actual numbers, the distinction between absolute and relative risk that changes everything about how you understand your VBAC decision. And I'm going to tell you how hypnobirthing can support you through it. Because you deserve an informed decision, not a frightened one. I'm Melanie, a birth doula, hypnobirthing teacher and a senior clinical hypnotherapist. I have supported VBAC births. I have sat with women who were told their VBAC was risky without ever being given a single number. This video is about changing that. Before I give you any statistics, I need to teach you something that will change how you receive every piece of risk information for the rest of your pregnancy. Absolute risk versus relative risk. Relative risk tells you how much bigger one risk is compared to another. So two things compared. Absolute risk tells you the actual likelihood of something happening to you. These two numbers can sound completely different, and the difference between them is the difference between an informed decision and generally a frightened one. Let me give you an example. If I told you that VBAC doubles your risk of something, that sounds alarming. But if the original risk was 1 in 10,000, doubling it to 2 in 10,000, still very small. The relative risk sounds huge. The absolute risk remains tiny. So always ask for the absolute risk, always. So let's look at what the evidence on VBAC actually says then. The RCOG, the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, in their Green Top guidelines states that the overall success rate for planned VBAC is 72 to 75% for women with no previous vaginal birth. If you've had a vaginal birth as well as a caesarean, that rises to 85 to 91%. The majority of women who plan a VBAC achieve one. Now, uterine rupture. This is the risk most commonly cited, and it's a serious complication when it occurs. So let's look at the actual numbers. For women with one previous low transverse caesarean scar, the most common type of caesarean, the absolute risk of uterine rupture during a planned VBAC is approximately 0.5%, around 5 in every 1,000 women. Some studies report 3 to 7 in every 1,000, depending on circumstances. For a planned repeat caesarean, that risk is approximately 0.02%, around 2 in every 10,000. So yes, the relative risk is higher with VBAC, but the absolute risk remains very low. That is the number you are entitled to be given when your clinician discusses VBAC with you. On induction, the evidence suggests that inducing labour in VBAC does increase the risk of uterine rupture, particularly when using prostaglandins. If induction is being discussed, ask specifically about the method, the pros and cons of this, and apply your brain framework. Benefits, risks, alternatives, instinct, what if you do nothing? 3 websites I recommend for evidence-based VBAC research are Dr. Sarah Wickham at sarahwickham.com, Evidence-Based Birth at evidencebasedbirth.com, and Dr. Rachel Reed at rachelreed.website. All write accessibly for women as well as for clinicians and help you understand not just the numbers, but the right questions that you can be asking. Now, here is what I want every woman planning a VBAC to understand. VBAC is not one size fits all. Your scar type, your birth interval, the gap between your babies, your care setting, your previous birth experience, all of these shape your individual risk and your individual likelihood of success. So dive deeply into knowledge-based learning. Know the accurate evidence, know the absolute risk, know your individual circumstances, and then from that solid foundation, make the decision that is right for you. Your birth, your decision, your story. Hypnobirthing clearly is not a guarantee of vaginal birth. What it is a framework for approaching your VBAC with knowledge, calm, and agency rather than fear. Specifically, it gives you the tools to interrupt the anxiety cycle that can make VBAC labour harder. It gives you breathing techniques that keep you in your parasympathetic system throughout. It gives you the brain framework for navigating any clinical decisions calmly. It prepares your birth partner to advocate for you, and it prepares you for your plan A, your plan B, and your contingencies. So it builds your emotional resilience, meaning nothing comes as an unmanageable shock. The women I've supported through VBAC who have done this preparation arrive differently. They know their evidence, they know their rights, and that knowledge is its own form of protection. The Better Birth Stories online hypnobirthing course covers all birth types with the decision-making tools, breathing techniques, and birth partner training that supports VBAC preparation. 94 lessons, 12 MP3s, £39.47, 30-day guarantee, links in the description, including 5 free lessons and a free relaxation track. And do subscribe for a new video every Wednesday. And hopefully you didn't have to hear my dog snoring all the way through that video. See you soon.